Okay, we're going to begin the public hearing for July 9th, 2019. Erica, could we please have roll call?
Commissioner O'Dorisio,
Present.
Commissioner Tedesco,
Here.
Commissioner Hodge,
Here.
Commissioner Henry.
Here.
If everyone please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. The agenda is approved 4-0. Do we have, at this point, we go into awards and presentations. Today, we're honoring the spring winners of the county's Employee and Team of the Season Awards. The employees recognized here have demonstrated exceptional service to the county and its residents, and we're excited to recognize them for their efforts today. We will first announce the Team of the Season winner, followed by the Employee of the Season category winners, and finish with introducing the overall Employee of the Season winner. Please come to the podium when we announce your name. We also invite your department director or supervisor to join you at the podium with brief remarks after we have read your nomination. After all remarks have been made, please have a seat in the front. And in the interest of time, we will present awards at the end of the ceremony, followed by group photos. Commissioner Eva Henry.
Thank you, Chair. We begin with our Team of the Season Award. Would the Animal Service Team please come to the podium? The Team of the Season Award recognizes project teams and work groups that have successfully collaborated outside of their normal routine work duties to accomplish a significant goal that positively impacted the workplace or that Adams County community. The Animal Service Team was nominated by Tracy Schillinger, who wrote, "It takes a village to accomplish what the Adams County Animal Shelter and Adoption Center achieves daily. This village works as a team to ensure the animals get the best care possible. This starts with the customer service representatives who represent the first impression of the shelter. Next, the intake technician makes sure the animals have the proper vaccination, food, and bedding. Then the kennel technicians make sure the animals have a clean and enriching environment. Diligent behavioral and rescue foster coordinators assess behavior to make sure the animals goes to a suitable home. Veterinarians and veterinarian techs continue the assessment process by tackling any special needs or medical cases. The kennel and intake technicians assist with visitation with potential family members, and the customer service representatives make sure the new pet parents are educated about the needs of the pet. Village also has a hardworking volunteer coordinator who recruits and retains the amazing volunteers. As you can see, it takes a village." Members of the animal team, would you like to say a few words? Stephanie, got to be proud.
I am very proud and honored. Thank you so much, Commissioner Henry and all the commissioners. I also want to say congrats to all the teams that were nominated for Team of the Season. We really don't operate in isolation, and many of those teams help us to be successful at the animal shelter. I want to thank Tracy for the nomination as well, as we partner with Animal Control to help protect and save animals in our community. You know, when we bring a new employee on to the animal shelter, we ask them what they bring to the table, and then we share with the staff that are already there what we bring to the table. And I will tell you that collectively, our team has over 100 years of experience in animal welfare. And we also have some great employees that have come from other disciplines that have brought us new ideas and perspectives that are helping us go forward. I have some numbers to share with you. In 2018, the shelter took in more than 6,300 animals, vaccinated another 2,200 plus animals, and served almost 9,000 animals in our community and an estimated 7,000 households. Our numbers continue to improve. We know we're having the beautiful Riverdale Animal Shelter open in 2020. We are ecstatic and excited and can't wait. However, we're doing great things now in our current facility. 30% increase in adoptions. We broke 3,000 adoptions for the first time. 40% increase in public animals vaccinated, helping with public safety. 33% more microchips, helping pets stay with their families. Doubled the number of community events. Tripled the number of humane education opportunities, and innovative programs like our Hikes for Hopefuls and Barn Cat Blue Collar Kitties programs saved last year 222 animals that might otherwise not have made it. If that doesn't make you pant, haha. Our staff are also incredible at exhibiting and living and embodying the norms and values. Animal shelter work is fun and exciting. You see our fun pictures on Facebook page of like our resident pig and happy adoptions. There are high highs and low lows. We do get our share of the cute furry factor. We also, our team has incredibly physically and emotionally challenging work. When things are hard, our team members step in to support each other. We see the power of the animal-human bond, how much people in our community love their pets. We also see, unfortunately, abuse and neglect, disease and illness. I do want to share that our team is incredibly innovative. We have healthcare, as you heard in Tracy's overview, doing medical needs. We have animal care, including behavior and foster care. We have our customer care department serving patrons, and our administrative services keeping our financial house in check, as well as community relations and volunteer. I can hardly keep up with the staff bringing innovative ideas to us to improve relations with the public, to improve ways we're lowering stress and caring for animals. They are doing incredible work on all levels. I believe this is in part due to the culture here at Adams County. I do want to thank my supervisor, Brian Osler, Ray Gonzalez, the county manager, the entire ELT, and of course the commissioners for fostering an environment where people can be themselves, and in that environment they're able to come up with great ideas. I want to just address the team. This is not my team. We are a team together. I want you all to know, I can't really look at you and say this, that it is the honor and pleasure of my career to work with a team this good. This is a team that is ready to take the field in the new shelter, but they're already a team with bench strength, and I am humbled beyond belief to lead alongside such stellar professionals. And communities are continually, increasingly judged more and more by how they care for animals, and I want here in this public hearing for our community here how well we're doing that now, and we'll do it even better in the new shelter. Thank you so much for this opportunity today.
Commissioner Hodge. Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you all. Please have a seat. Congratulations.
The first Employee of the Season award is for the category of collaboration, helping, and mentoring. Would Christine Molina please come to the podium, along with Jill Jennings-Golich, Director of Community and Economic Development. This award honors individuals who play an important role by positively influencing others by working towards strategic plan goals, participating in change initiatives, and investing time in coaching, mentoring, and being a role model for others. Christine was nominated by the One Stop Customer Center. Chris has always been a beacon of light and hope in community and economic development, not only as a coworker, but as a teacher and friend. She never hesitates to assist customers or staff, ensuring that questions and concerns are addressed in a thorough and detailed manner, and sending our customers off with a smile on their faces. She never sees herself above anyone and can view all perspectives before making an unbiased and fair final decision. If she is not on the phone or at the counter helping residents, she is diligently completing reviews and projects or mentoring staff to strengthen their understanding of standards and regulations of building code and safety. With the time and dedication she has invested in her job And with many of us in CED, she is deserving of this award. Would you guys like to say something?
Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Chris. Jill Jennings-Golick, and being new myself, I just want to say Chris has been incredibly welcoming and has already just jumped on top of things if an issue has come up. She is quick to respond and always incredibly helpful. So congratulations, Chris.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Christine Molina, and I'm a Plans Examiner in the Building Safety Division. I'm just one of the many people responsible for issuing building permits to the community. I have worked at Adams County for 5.5 years, and I can truly say that it continues to be an enjoyable experience. The workload is always plentiful and always challenging, and I mean that in a good way. It's the people, however, that make it a very special place to work. The One Stop crew who nominated me for this holds a special place in my heart. We work closely together every day, and over time, we have not only built great collaborative working relationships, but have also built great friendships. The ability to come to work every day and know you can share a bit of your personal world with people you trust and care about is a rare gem in the workplace, and I am very grateful for our team. Excuse me. One of the descriptions written about me was my willingness to teach or to mentor. If there is one thing One Stop knows about me, it is how important I feel that continued education and growth is in the workplace. There is this saying, you can either demonstrate 1 year of experience over a 10-year period, or you can demonstrate 10 years of experience in a 1-year period. I'm a firm believer in the latter. The people who work at One Stop, Amanda, Megan, Aaron, Kevin, and Raylene, have always shown a desire to continue their growth in education. So quite simply, they have always made mentoring an easy job for me to accomplish. I just want to say thank you and express how grateful I am to work with such great people. Thank you for this award, and I want to especially thank the One Stop crew for their continued support of me, and I look forward to doing the same for them. Thank you.
All right, next we present the award for Extra Effort category. This award celebrates an employee whose unique level of service fosters good business relationships and enhances the county's positive reputation. Renee Peterson, please come to the podium, along with, and this says Byron Fanning. I know he's not in the room. I was looking everywhere. But I'm sure you have a representative that will come forward. Renee was nominated by Shannon McDowell, who wrote, Renee is an invaluable resource who is happy to help anywhere she can. In just 4 days, she played crucial roles in the Earth Day event, Bring Your Child to Work Day, a large volunteer event for parks, and an advisory board meeting, while also handling her normal duties. To say she's Superwoman is an understatement, and she does it all for the betterment of our organization and community. Renee makes a difference in so many ways. The Wellness Committee, the Green Team, Bring Your Child to Work Day, and far exceeds expectations through the Adopt a Spot program. She worked with McKinstry and our noxious weed supervisor to organize a day to build trails, plant trees, refinish benches, and clean the open space behind Twin Lakes Park. McKinstry had talked with several jurisdictions to find a place to adopt and specifically credited Renee as the reason they chose Adams County. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes, so Shannon McDowell, Parks and Open Space Department. I supervise Renee. I have the pleasure of seeing her every day, and she's truly a gem in the county. I think a lot of people around the county could tell you that she's the person that they will go to if they need help on something that isn't anybody's specific job. I mean, you can hear all the different things that are county initiatives that she's involved in. So she's definitely someone you can rely on. She will, even in her busiest weeks, she will make it happen. And she does so accurately, wonderfully, and fully. So congratulations, Renee.
I just want to thank the commissioners and the leadership team for supporting all of these events and all of these activities. And I especially want to thank my coworkers and the staff throughout the county that helps make these events possible, because I'm just part of that team that makes these events a success. Thank you.
Our next category is for success in practice. Would Rhonda Bergen, Herb Covey, the Interim Director of Human Services, please come on down. The Success in Practice Award honors individuals who play an important role in successful interventions, problem resolutions, and customer improvements. Heather Drake nominated Rhonda and wrote, "I nominate Rhonda because of her outstanding leadership and her commitment to the children and families we serve. Rhonda often volunteers to assist others and is always willing to take on new tasks, including the Central Visitation Program. When a child is removed from the custody of their parents, it is crucial that they be able to visit them within a few days of removal. Visits can be difficult to arrange due to various challenges, but Rhonda streamlined this process. She developed a referral template and worked with her team's case aide, Timothy Coronado, to have the referrals routed to them. Rhonda began going to contract meetings with visitation service providers and kept track of who had openings so referrals could be sent directly to the providers who could pick them up. Because of Rhonda's innovation, determination, and persistence, visitation between children and the parents now occurs more quickly, increasing child well-being." Herb, Rhonda, thank you. Herb, would you like to make any comments?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. Just want to appreciate Heather Drake for nominating Rhonda. Rhonda is one of our superstars. She is part of our orientation team when we onboard new employees, and she introduces employees to the culture and our organization, so we're real proud of her. She does have family members that are in here today in support of her. Would you please stand up? And there were also members of Child Welfare that are also present. So anybody from Child Welfare care to stand up, show your support? This is all testament to the value that Rhonda adds to the organization. So thank you for recognizing her.
Thank you, Commissioners, and I do have to say thank you to Heather Drake, one, for nominating me, but the other reason is she's the one, this was her idea to do centralized visitation, and also for her support to be able to let Tim and I make this a successful process that we have put into place. Also, I have to give thanks to Tim Coronado. He is my case aide, and him and I work very well together, and we're able to get visits going for parents in order to see their children. So thank you.
Commissioner Henry.
Next, we present the award for the Unsung Hero category. Would Leslie Cadena and Stephanie Wild, Director of the Animal Shelters, please come forward? Again, Stephanie, wow. The Unsung Hero category honors individuals for performing high-quality, reliable, and critical work that, if not completed, would compromise operations. This person's functions behind the scenes is willing to improve work situations and does so without fanfare or being prompt. Leslie was nominated by the Animal Services Management Team, who wrote, "Leslie's passion shows in her commitment to return lost animals to their owners. Through her Lost Animal page, she does all she can to reunite separated families. Many times she knows a lost dog as soon as we get to the shelter by being well-versed on the missing dogs on the Tri-County Lost and Found Pets page. Leslie has a knack for recognizing animals that have been impounded previously through the shelter. Leslie also is a dog whisperer to the fearful dogs that come into the stressful shelter environment. She has a keen eye to catch sickness or injuries and seeks medical care immediately. Leslie is very deserving of this honor and has dedicated her life to what she does." Stephanie and Leslie, would you like to address the crowd?
Yes. So Commissioners, again, thank you for this recognition for Leslie Cadena today. When I came here 4 years ago, I sat down with all the staff, and one of the things I want to tell you about Leslie is she brought a scrapbook. She has a long history in animal welfare, and She is a dog whisperer, and when there's one of those little snappy dogs that scares the heck out of me, Leslie is the one that we give that dog to her, and with a couple of days or a couple of weeks, that dog is literally eating out of your hand. She, along with our other intake staff, Mai Tai Olag, of those 6,300 plus animals that come into the shelter, they are the ones that receive those animals. So Leslie probably handled about 3,000 animals last year. I can tell you that if your pet gets lost, well, you wouldn't want that to happen. You would want it to come into the arms of Leslie at the shelter. All the things that Officer Annette Lurch wrote are exactly true. I think, though, with that volume of animals, it can get a bit numbing, and sometimes there can be some desensitization that can happen. But I want you to know that for Leslie, animals are not just a number, and she treats, whether it's the first one or the 40th one, and on a busy summer day in July, we will take in 40 animals. Leslie treats each one as if it's the first one she's seeing for the day. Leslie is also well respected by our animal control community. We serve 8 jurisdictions, including unincorporated Adams County, and she is a go-to person for them. The other thing I would say is she truly is a pet detective. She's like the FBI for missing and lost pets. We don't have exact statistics, but I can tell you nationwide, returning lost pets home continues to be a challenge, and the numbers are not great. And last year, the shelter had a 27% increase in animals being returned to their owners. And that is a collective effort, but Leslie is one of the people that is helping to make that happen. She estimates that over 200 pets have been reclaimed due to her work on the sites with her lost pet page. The last thing I want to tell you about Leslie is, despite her very vibrant hair, she is someone that doesn't seek attention or accolades. And I want to share with you, I hope you're okay with this. You can see she has some emotion here today. When we told her that she was not only nominated but won her category for Unsung Hero, seeing her emotion, seeing her gratitude has been a highlight for me as a director. It brings me back to how important these kind of things are, because Leslie works behind the scenes doing all these incredible things, and you would never know about it if it wasn't for opportunities like this. So thank you to PNC and again, the county leadership for allowing opportunities to thank people like Leslie.
Thank you, commissioners, my coworkers, our volunteers. The community has come together. We actually help outside of jurisdictions, and it's brought a whole lot of people together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we present the Making It Happen Award category. Would Jody Camerzell and Herb Covey, Interim Director of Human Services, please come forward? The Making It Happen Award honors employees who achieve a desired outcome despite facing adversity, such as a lack of resources, unexpected challenges, etc. Jody was nominated by Brett Shager and the WOIA youth team. Jody took on the role of Workforce and Business Center Administrator, and she has done an amazing job of improving how we work in the WBC. She is perfect for this category because she has worked to break down boundaries between the workforce programs that were in separate facilities and develop new relationships between these programs by implementing wildly important goals for each of these items, for each team. Jody works tirelessly to run our division, and her hard work pays off for the increasing success we are having with our customers by working together. Jody is more than just the winner of this category. She is also the person who was chosen as the overall Spring Employee of the Season. As such, Jody will receive a check for $350 and a trophy in addition to her certificate of recognition. Herb, Jody, words?
Thank you, Commissioner Hodge, members of the board. Jody Camerzell certainly deserves this recognition. When she joined the county 7 years ago, she immediately hit the ground running and became a valuable asset, not only to the WBC, but to Adams County. her responsibilities within the WBC increased very rapidly and continue today. And she's facing some unique challenges, and she has stepped up every time to these challenges. She has responded very systematically. She is a person that has a colored notebook that she brings to every meeting that I have with her. It's very organized. She color codes everything. She's very well organized, and that's something that we need in our department. It has been an honor to work for her and work with her. She stands before you. Well, I kind of work for her too sometimes. She stands before you today as the overall 2019 Employee of the Season winner, and I would like to take the liberty to introduce her family who's here. Marilyn, would you stand up? This is her mother. Steve, who's her husband. Her lovely daughter, Tara. And her family's joined by a number, and you can tell by the roar when we introduced her, a number of her staff are also present. So if they could please stand, that would be great. So thank you for this recognition for Jody. Jody?
Well, this is a huge honor, completely unexpected. I do have to scold my mother a little bit for being here. She was in the emergency room yesterday, but she insisted on being here. My husband, who I don't deserve, and my daughter, who's absolutely amazing, and my son, who is dedicated at work today. But I guess what I really want to say is it is so hard for me to be on the receiving end. I look forward every quarter to the email that we get from Shelley Lubick saying, here's the Employee of the Season winners. And I'm so excited to open it, see who in our office has gotten it. And when I got the email this month, I kept reading it going, this can't be for me. This isn't how this is supposed to work. So, you know, we have an amazing group of people that work throughout the county, from facilities to finance to IT to Head Start, Human Services. I mean, I can't name them all, and I hate following Stephanie on any of these presentations because she's so amazingly articulate. But what I can speak to is the WBC, because that's my work family, and they're the people I hang out with the most day in and day out and put up with me. They're an amazing group of people who bring their passion to work every day. And while Brett and the youth group have talked about my bright ideas and my vision, that's what they are. It's the people who implement that, and it's their innovation, their determination that makes us look so good every day. And it's not the team you belong to, it's not the title you hold, it's how you conduct yourself every day that defines who you are, and these people are amazing. Mother Teresa once said, we can't all do great things, but we can all do a lot of great things with love, and that's what the people at the WBC do. So kudos to them. Thank you.
All right, so now we're going to take a moment and we're going to personally present the winners with their awards. We're also going to take some group photos and the winners and the winning team. Also with the families, I know the families are here to support their winners, and we definitely want to make sure they get pictures. We also want to remind everyone that nominations are currently being accepted for the Summer Employee and Team of the Seasons Awards, so please visit My Adams for more information on how you can nominate deserving coworkers and teams in your department or within the county. So let's get together in front. We're going to line up here in front. We're going to give the awards, and we'll be down in just shortly.
because we figured out. Yeah, Heidi was not happy. I think she always gave me looks whenever. Yeah, no, go ahead and get everybody in there, and then we'll get you all outside in the lobby afterwards. Whole team, yeah. Just squeeze in and. Angel and Jennifer, can you guys scoot in just a little bit more? All right, that's perfect. All right, thank you. If all the winners can meet me outside in the lobby, we'll get all individual photos as well. Thank you.
That's fair.
All right, we'll wait for the room to clear out a little bit. Okay, we're moving on to public comment. At this time is a portion of our meeting where citizens can come and speak for up to 3 minutes. Do we have anyone signed up to speak?
We do not.
We do not. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak that did not sign up? Seeing none, coming back to the elected officials. Any communications from elected officials? Yes, Commissioner Tedesco.
So I just want to say a couple things, and one is, I've always tried to tell people that we have a world-class facilities, providing world-class services, and especially on days like today with world-class employees. And this only proves that point. I do want to say that, some of the things that were pointed out, if you haven't microchipped your pets, microchip your pets. It'll make her job a lot easier, and it will bring that pet home a lot quicker. So if you haven't done that, microchip your pets. But on a personal note, I just wanted to kind of share some exciting news on my side. And what I wanted to share is that, as many of you know, I'm a foster adoptive child, and I've never known my biological family. Through DNA testing and through some accidental acquaintances, I have actually found my biological family. And I had the privilege of meeting a majority of that family on Saturday, and it was an amazing experience. And I've been blessed to be where I am today, who I am today, because of my adoptive and foster families. But it is an amazing and exhilarating and emotional roller coaster to find your biological family. And I just wanted to share that because we are family in Adams County, and we are Adams. And I appreciate every single one of you for supporting me and for supporting this group and allowing me to be able to share that with you today. So thank you.
Is there anyone else? No. Thank you for sharing that with us, Commissioner Tedesco. Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is approved. Consent calendar is approved 4-0. Going down to county, new business, county manager. It's all yours.
Good morning, Commissioners. Before I get started, I wanted to congratulate all of the winners today. Very impressive, and it just demonstrates what an amazing team that we have here at Adams County. And there's one other team that I'd like to acknowledge, and that is our Parks and Open Space Department for hosting yet another amazing 4th of July celebration last week. And so I know some of them already left, but if they're watching, I just wanted to say kudos. We've had an increase in number of attendance year after year. We also doubled our food trucks and food vendors this year, and parking was really a lot easier this year, according to Heidi, right? So I just wanted to congratulate yet another successful event, so thank you. So the first item before you, wow, after I get through, sorry, is a resolution approving change order 2 to the agreement between Adams County and Roxol Consulting Group, Inc. for engineering design services for the York Street Phase 2, 78th Avenue to 88th Avenue Improvement Project. And Renee Valdez with our Public Works Department will be presenting this item.
Good morning, Commissioners. We are here requesting a change to the design contract with Roxol. And part of the increase for this change is for increased environmental site assessment at Phase 2, which will investigate the soils and do some testing on those soils. We are also increasing the scope of the design contract to include additional segments on 78th Avenue west of York Street, and also increase the design of the box culvert that goes underneath 78th Avenue, as shown in yellow. We also want to increase the scope of the design on North Coronado Parkway to go ahead and attach a missing segment of concrete in these general areas. We will be also doing some additional utility locates as part of this change order. And with that, we're requesting a change order in the amount of $130,000. Do you have any questions?
Commissioners, do we have any questions for staff? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion. Could you guys? Okay, resolution approving a change order 2 to the agreement between Adams County and Roxol Consulting Group, Inc. for engineering design services for the York Street Phase 2, 70th Avenue to 88th Avenue Improvement Project.
We have a motion and a second. And it passes 4-0. Thank you. Next up.
The next item before you is a resolution approving Amendment 1 to the agreement between Adams County and Southwestern Painting and Decorating, Inc. for the on-call painting services. And our Director of Fleet and Facilities, Mike Holub, will be presenting this item.
Good morning, Commissioners. Our purchasing department sent out an RFP for on-call painting services, and an award was issued to Southwestern Painting and Decorating in July of 2018. We really like their work and their flexibility, and they've kept their pricing the same. Facilities and Fleet Management recommends approving Amendment 1 to this agreement, which is one of 2 possible optional renewals. This agreement is not to exceed $500,000 per year. Are there any questions?
Questions from the commissioners? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that agenda item number 2, 19-570, be approved as read.
Second.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second.
The next, are you ready for the next item?
Yes.
Okay. The next item is a resolution approving Amendment 1 to the agreement between Adams County and Elliott Auto Supply, Inc., DBA Factory Motors Parts to provide on-site auto parts and general automotive lubricants to the Adams County Facilities and Fleet Operations Department. And Mike Guterres is here to present this item.
Morning, Commissioners. In 2017, Elliott Auto Supply, Inc., also known as Factory Motor Parts, was awarded the agreement to provide on-site auto parts and lubricants to Adams County fleet shops in Commerce City and Strasburg. This agreement allowed for 3 one-year renewal options. Amendment 1 is being requested for the first-year renewal period with only a 3.5% labor cost increase to the fee structure for this one-year renewal. Fleet is very pleased with the services provided by Elliott Auto Supply, Inc., and recommends Amendment 1 for the first renewal of the agreement to be approved for the amount of $730,000. Are there any questions?
Any questions for no questions from the commissioners? Okay, do we have a motion?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve 19-568, resolution approving Amendment 1 to the agreement between Adams County and Elliott Auto Supply, Inc.
Second. We have a motion and a second. And that passes 4-0. Thank you very much.
The next item before you is a resolution approving a cooperative agreement between Adams County and Hanan Equipment for the purchase of 4 replacement John Deere motor graders. And again, Mike Guterres will be presenting this item.
Good morning again. Heavy equipment replacement schedules are based on equipment use. Here are some examples of our equipment life cycles. As you can see, age, hours, and life-to-date maintenance costs should coordinate with the depreciation. Adams County heavy equipment averages 85 pieces of equipment. We have 25 equipment classes. Some examples are motor graders, loaders, backhoes, rollers, and any equipment over 1 ton. Public Works Department, Highway Department is replacing 4 motor graders in 2019. All of these graders have served their full useful life. Life-to-date maintenance cost is over 79% for each grader. We would like to purchase the graders from Hanan Equipment, who will be giving us a 41% off MSRP discount, plus an additional 7% multi-unit discount. MSRP total would be $2,131,907, minus the Sourcewell discount and the multi-unit discount. The total will be $1,193,220. Cost of each grader will be $298,305. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the board? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that agenda item number 4, 19-569, be approved as read.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. And that is approved unanimously, 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item before you is a resolution approving an agreement between Adams County and Amerisco for design building services for a solar farm for the former shooting range. And Sean Braden with our Facilities and Fleet Department will be presenting this item.
Good morning, Commissioners. As you may recall, in 2015, we started undertaking the design and review process of the property that was a former shooting range on Riverdale Road, just north of 470. And we've gone through a lot of work, and we're finally down to the final stages and going to start some real construction, which is the next item. But once we're complete with that construction, our desire is to actually take land that is otherwise unusable and unoccupiable based on the previous use and turn it into something productive. And so we have solicited for an energy developer to put a solar array onto that property. We put out an RFP. We had one respondent, which was Ameresco. An evaluation team went through that proposal to ensure its validity. We also compared it with United Power, which will have to be a partner on this project. And we feel that the proposal that was provided to us was legitimate and had a reasonable recourse. This will not actually cost the county any monies. In fact, it would potentially produce revenue or at least reduce power rates for power purchased off of that solar array. Those options are yet to be determined, as the first phase of this work would actually be to design the system, and then we would engineer or finalize the engineering and determine the final lease rates and the revenue generated back, but we can't do that without the design. So we're requesting approval today for a design-build contract to Ameresco so they can start the first phase of that project, develop the design, and determine what the best lease rates are. I would like to add that those lease rates are generally based on what DOLA makes available in grants, which have not yet been determined for this year, but are expected later this month.
Any questions from the board? No, my only comment is I like how we're taking a piece of property that was otherwise going to not be used for anything productive, cleaned it up, and we're turning it into something productive to generate energy. So thank you for your effort. Do we have a motion from the board?
Chair, I move for agenda item 19-571 resolution approving an agreement between Adams County and Ameresco for design building services for a solar farm for the former shooting range.
We have a motion and a second. That motion passes 4-0. Thank you very much. Next up.
I guess I'll just dive right into number
Sorry,
6.
sorry, So the next item before you is a resolution approving an agreement between Adams County and Iron Woman Construction and Environmental Services LLC for the same former shooting range construction services project.
So in order to allow that solar development to actually occur, we have to complete the final construction and regrading of the site, capping the landfill that's out there, and frankly, capping off all the work that we've been doing for the last several years. We followed, because of the size of the project, we followed policy 1071. So while this is effectively a demolition project, we wanted to ensure proper and best value contracting practices on this project because it was so large. So we did a statement of qualifications, and last fall, the Board of County Commissioners approved 4 vendors: Earth Services, Fiore & Sons, Iron Woman, and LT Environmental, to move on to an RFP stage. All 4 of those firms did submit. An evaluation committee reviewed all 4 of those proposals and found qualifications and pricing both to be to the best value. To be Iron Woman, they had both the highest qualifications and the lowest price. For us, it was a no-brainer to recommend Iron Woman Construction to you in the amount of $3,842,378.22.
Any questions from the board? Commissioner Tedesco.
So I just have a question, because we're doing these simultaneously, are these 2 companies going to be working together to ensure that whatever is done by Iron Woman Construction to mitigate the area is in compliance and works well with what we're putting in? Are they talking to each other, coordinating?
They will be, yes, and in addition to that, the energy development started with a capstone project with the Colorado School of Mines that we had engaged with along with CDPHE, and so the engineering company that's designed the cap has already accounted for that in the engineer of the design as well. So effectively, we're having all 3 parties involved be connected and converse through the remainder of the construction so that the solar field will be ready to be installed upon completion of construction.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that agenda item number 6, 19-572, be accepted or be approved as read.
We have a motion?
Second.
And a second. And that passes 4-0.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. County Manager, anything else?
No other items.
County Attorney.
Good morning, Commissioners. We actually have 3 executive sessions on your agenda today. The first is pursuant to Colorado Revised Statute 246402, 4A and E, to instruct negotiators regarding real property acquisition for the York Street and 58th Avenue projects.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
A motion and a second on this executive session. And that passes 4-0. County Attorney, can we do the next 2 together?
Yes, and I'll give you a little explanation about why these 2 look very similar. We have a discussion today. You have an open meeting, a study session with a proposal involving E470, and then we will have an executive session with E470 staff because we have a common interest privilege with them. So that's the first executive session. Then we will dismiss E470, and you guys will have a discussion amongst yourselves. So that's why there are two executive sessions on there. The first is pursuant to Colorado Revised Statute 246402(4)B and E for the purpose of receiving legal advice and instructing negotiators regarding E470 proposal. And then the second is just pursuant to 246402(4)E for the purpose of instructing negotiators regarding E470 proposal.
Okay, do we have a motion for both of them together?
So can I do a motion with both of them together?
Yes.
So I move to accept both.
Okay, we have a motion to approve B9 and B10 together. And that passes 4-0. Anything else from the county attorney?
No, thank you.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute recess, come back at 10:30 on that clock for our land use hearing. going to reconvene our public hearing and enter into the land use portion of this public hearing. It's all yours, staff.
Thank you, Commissioners. Greg Barnes with Community and Economic Development Department. And today's only land use case is an application filed by Brookfield for Midtown Filing 11. There are two parts of this request. There's a final development plan which would establish the zoning for this filing, as well as a final plat which creates 72 attached single-family residential lots on 5.8 acres. There's also a subdivision improvements agreement associated with that plat. The site is shown here in the center of the screen. It's on the southeast corner of North Pecos Street and West 68th Avenue. It's an undeveloped portion within the Midtown development. And a closer view of the site shows that it is surrounded by other portions of the Midtown development on the east, west, and south. To the north is single-family residential, and the zone district is PUD for the areas around Midtown, and the single-family residential district to the north has R1C zoning, which is consistent with the land use. The county's comprehensive plan has designated a future land use of urban residential, and this is where the county intends to see residential uses at a density greater than 1 unit per acre. So the proposed development is consistent with that future land use designation. The criteria for approving a final development plan includes consistency with the comprehensive plan, conformance to our PUD standards, consistency with the approved preliminary development plan, and that construction plans for the development have been approved by staff. For the final plat, the criteria includes conformance to the preliminary plat, conformance to the subdivision design standards of Chapter 5 of our development standards, sufficient water supply, established sewage disposal, adequate drainage, adequate public infrastructure, and that any topographic conditions that are hazardous have been identified. So this is the overall layout of the plat. It's outlined in yellow. It's sort of a gamma-shaped property that's bounded on 6 sides by public streets. The most notable streets are Pecos, which is to the west of the development, and 68th Avenue, which is to the north of the development. All 72 lots would have access from the smaller internal streets of 67th Avenue, 67th Place, Osage Street, and Navajo Street. The applicant provided building elevations with their development plan, and this architecture is consistent with architecture found in the Midtown area. A few images to help you gauge what the site looks like. So this is the site. You can see the development to the south and east off into the distance. This is sort of looking more in a southwesterly direction toward Pecos. Pecos is this line right here. This is 68th Avenue looking to the west and to the east. And then this is the intersection of 68th and Pecos looking to the northwest. And finally, Pecos Street looking to the south along the west side of the property line. During the referral period, we notified 464 property owners and occupants within 750 feet of this parcel. And we received 3 comments. The comments include that the area is a food desert and perhaps the property could be used in a commercial capacity, that the residential density in the area is too great, and then another notice of general support. One of these comment letters came in yesterday, and so we have provided it to be shared with the board. Water and sewage is available through Crestview District, and referral agencies commented on the case but had no opposition or concerns. So staff is recommending approval of this final plat and final development plan and the associated SIA with 11 findings of fact, 1 condition precedent, and 1 note. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for staff? Okay, seeing none. Would the applicant like to come forward, please? Please state your full name and your address for the record.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Eva Mather with Norris Design, 1101 Bannock Street, Denver, Colorado, 80204. It's a pleasure to be before you again today. Other members of our team that are here include Chris Petra with Brookfield, Mike Peachman with Redland, and Kim Martin with Otten Johnson. Just some more great pictures of the community. We have this great new park that hopefully everybody's been out to see, which is a lot of fun. So the last time we were here before you, we worked on the PDP amendment, filings 6, 9, and 10. So this is the map as we showed it last, as it was approved. Here's the current map and a location of the community. Look here at 68th and Pecos. We also added a school site plan, so you can see that that's coming along. But what we're talking about is filing 11. So there are 2 products on the site, 47 rear-loaded townhomes, which you can see in sort of the lighter yellow around the curve, and then 25 front-loaded townhomes, which is a new product to Midtown. The alley-loaded product in the lighter yellow is what you've seen already, a townhome you've already seen at Midtown. It's more of a traditional townhome. It fronts on streets or green courts. The darker yellow, these are more of what you might consider, or what has been, we've kind of talked about as a motor court, where the garages front on these private drives, but each homeowner also gets so they share this little, this drive, and then they also have a small backyard. So it's a unique and new condition that I think will be well accepted in the community. A little more than 5 acres, roughly 12 to 13 DUs per acre. The open space meets the requirements of the PDP. There's approximately 2.6 acres. And included in that is a plaza area where these townhomes front on, which has some seating areas and also some green spaces, and a significant buffer from Pecos Street. So just to show you the architecture, here's a view of the rear-loaded townhomes, the more traditional alley-loaded townhomes with the front doors that face on streets or green courts. And then the front-loaded townhomes with their garages. They have a similar look and feel, very urban and sort of the Midtown vocabulary, vernacular. And that's all we wanted to show to you today. We're available for questions, so if you, let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any questions for the applicant? I do. How many parking spaces are going to be for each one of these units?
So each unit has 2 garage spaces, and then in addition, there are on-street spaces as well as some, we've provided additional off-street parking spaces in several locations. I believe it's roughly 3.
Can you show that on the map?
Yeah, absolutely. There are off-street spaces located here and also over here.
And how many is that?
I think it's 19, but let me confirm that. 19 off-street spaces. We've accounted for 60 on-street spaces along 67th Place and Osage Street.
Can you show that on the map?
Absolutely. It's along this stretch of street through here.
So that's 19 off-street, and how many? What was that on-street?
60. In addition, some of these, the units that front on these motor courts have a driveway that accommodates guest parking as well. They're set back 18 feet, 18 to, I think, 19 feet to accommodate that guest parking.
Got it. So what I'm hearing is that 2 garage spaces per unit, plus some of them have driveways, plus 19 off-street, plus 60 on-street.
Correct. 3.32 spaces per unit.
3 point what?
3.32.
Yeah. And how many bedrooms are these on each type?
I think there's a range of 2 to 4. they're all three-story products, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Any other questions for Commissioner Tedesco?
So I just wanted to clarify what you said. So addition to all of the on-street and guest parking, the garages are all two-car garages?
Correct.
For every type of unit,
Yes,
even the rear-loaded?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, and then the other question was about, that we saw on an email that we received was regarding a food desert, and the concern that keeps coming up is the bait and switch with, like, commercial property and the other stuff, you know. A lot of folks, I understand that we worked with our staff, and you worked with our staff to make sure that we do things in iterations. So my question is, first directed at you, is how are we going to address the issue of amenities that were promised, especially in light of the fact that we've now had one of the breakfast and coffee places closed down that a lot of the folks in the neighborhood relied on? And then the question over for staff will be to follow up, which is, where are we in the iterative process of giving a little bit here, then making sure there's some accountability with fulfilling promises, and then the next step? Because I think we all felt comfortable proving some of this stuff before, because we were able to show the neighborhood that we're working in iterations. So
Sure.
we'll first start with the amenities.
Sure, so this filing has always been identified as residential, so it's not a bait and switch here at all. It, at one time was discussed as apartments, but it's always been targeted for a high-density residential planning area. So there's never been any commercial slated for the site.
Okay?
That was, yeah. Does that answer your question?
What's
or-
going on with the coffee shop that was closed down?
From what I understand, there is a new lease that is being worked on for that site.
What kind of use?
I think a bakery.
Okay. All right, any other questions from commissioners on this? Okay, now my other question was for staff, about how we were doing an iterative process. We take a step, then we approve one thing, and then they show some performance indicators, then we approve another. Do you remember that? I know Kristen was the one leading that effort.
I think, sorry. We can follow up with you on that, given that me being new, we weren't involved in that process. But certainly, we know on the other side of Pecos, that area was approved for mixed use, which includes commercial activities. So we can follow up with you on that.
Any questions? No? All right. There looks like there's someone else who'd like to speak. If you could please state your full name for the record and your address.
Yeah, I'm Mike Peachman. I'm with Redland, 1500 West Canal Court, Littleton, Colorado. So I'm the civil engineer for Brookfield. To answer part of the questions maybe on the items that you were talking about, basically PA 7, which is the FAR. Greg, could you get me the overall? So part of the PDP, the requirements when we did the amendment for number 3, to make sure certain obligations were being done for amenities and things, is this area, this area over here is what we call PA 7. That's a future filing, and there's a park on the south side here, a future park, that Brookfield cannot develop this parcel without developing this park concurrently or prior to it. And then as well on what we call the facility parcel, there was residential allowed, in this area over here. This dog park on the south side, the pond, and some of the amenities over here are complete, but the remainder of the park cannot go in until Arcadis finishes their cleanup measures on that site. We cannot do any development over here until this park is complete concurrently or prior to development with this residential. So that was part of the requirements in the third PDP amendment that was approved, I think, last year, if that helps.
So what I'm hearing, if I can, the park on the east has to be completed before that other gray area on the east is completed.
Yeah, I believe it's concurrent or prior to.
Okay?
But
And same goes with the side on the west.
same on the west, so those two tied to each other.
Got it. And there was no conditions for us to approve this particular parcel, no performance conditions on that.
No, not that I'm aware of.
I think the only condition was that it needed to meet the open space requirements, which it does.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Tedesco.
I just want to say, you know, we've been through this process with Brookfield and with all of these different phases. We've really kind of asked you to do a lot on this and work with us on this. I just want to say that, you know, you've provided the spaces that we've asked for. Keeping them filled is a different story. That's market-driven. That's driven by the companies that want to come in and want to be located there. It's very hard to put a requirement on you to keep something open. The space is there. It's still offered. It's still, we have to kind of wait for the market and the people that are interested in that area to come in and want to be located there. I'm very happy to see that a lot of that space is being utilized now, and also that you have somebody to come in and replace the coffee shop. I know that it's a difficult market and area to be in because of the way that it's located, but I do want to say that you have met those obligations with us. You've also met the phasing obligations with the parks being finished and the trail sides and the buffer zones and everything else we've gone through. So I just want to say that from my perspective, I want to thank you for working with us on that and addressing the parking issues that consistently come up in that area. So thank you.
I could say thank you on behalf of the applicant.
Any other questions or comments from the commissioners? No. At this time, we're going to open the hearing up for public comment. Is there anyone that would signed up to speak on this matter from the public?
There is not.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience that did not sign up to speak but would still like to speak on this matter? Seeing none, we're going to come back to the board for discussion and motions. I would like to say that I think that when I see 3 parking spots per unit, I'd like to see this kind of parking in the other new developments that we have. I think that this definitely is, what I'm seeing is that you did listen to us on our concerns for parking. I think that that this is a significant difference compared to sometimes we get the 1.5 or the 1.25 per unit in some of these other applications, and I just want to thank you guys because I think that the adequate parking is going to be a big deal, not just to the existing neighborhood at Midtown, but also to the surrounding community. So I want to thank you guys for providing a lot more parking in this area. I also want to note that the question I had earlier about the iterations, I think is important to note that a lot of the frustration I think we see expressed from the neighborhood deals with with those parks being the last thing to come in. And I want it to be known to the neighborhood that we are still holding true that none of those developments over in those areas will be done on those other 2 filings until those park areas are complete. And that's the iterative process that that I was referring to earlier. And I want to thank staff for making sure that we have those performance measures in place and that we have conditional conditions before approving more density in those ends, the east and the west end of Midtown. I do have concerns generally about amenities. I don't think that the amenities of a couple shops meet what was promised in the marketing, but I do think that you guys have met the legal requirements of what we approved years ago. I would like to see more development, and I think that maybe more of that commercial development could be done with Midtown, working with our county staff and our neighborhood economic development folks that we have now, right, Mr. Gonzalez? We now have economic development folks that dedicated to neighborhood economic development, and that could really be something where we could work with Midtown to try to get some more investments along Pecos. And maybe those amenities don't necessarily need to be in the middle of Midtown, but they can be along Pecos, which we're working hard to improve anyway. So I don't have any problem approving this personally today, but at this time, if there's any other comments from other commissioners, I'd open we're open for discussion. If not, does somebody have a motion?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion, but first I just want to make it clear that I don't share your passion for parking spaces. Just saying. All right, I move for the approval of the proposed final plat, final development plan and associated SIA PRC 2018-8 with 11 findings of fact, 1 condition precedent, and 1 note.
Put your microphone on. All right, it passes 4-0. Congratulations. And we hope to work with you on the economic development stuff in the neighborhood, because if we can show these neighbors that we do have some amenities coming into the neighborhood, that'll help us all. So hope to work with you guys on that. Any other comments from members of the board? If not, we will adjourn.